Don't take away my friend. This is a heartfelt plea from a friend of Mikeneko named Marisaku Panda today. It was put on Twitter to inform the fans and everyone who knows Mikeneko or knows her that knows Mikeneko that there was a situation that happened today, and the situation is a bit of a sensitive one, so I am giving you guys the warnings right now. It will be a bit of a sensitive topic. I will try to censor out some parts that are more sensitive in order to make it easier to digest for most people. I hope you understand. The person we are talking about today is, of course, Mikeneko, but also Marisaku Panda, as I mentioned before, who today put out a tweet, well, in the morning of Japan time. Right now, as I'm doing this, it is late night Japan. Mikeneko, 95RN16, which is her Twitter @ attempted blank and was taken to the hospital. There was a possibility of police protection or long-term hospitalization, but I promised the hospital that I would watch over them until their next visit, and they were discharged. It's easy to blank someone's heart with slander. Don't take away my friend. This is a painful plea. This is a plea of someone who nearly lost someone that was very important to them. And I can understand the emotional part of it. I can understand how strongly they feel about that maybe they felt that people were doing too much slander and doing too much to attack Mikeneko, and it caused the whole situation, which could very well be true. One thing I do want to mention around here is that these types of situations are extremely sensitive, and they can bring about someone's lowering of their mental state, and it can bring someone to decide to take that kind of drastic action. And that's just something I want you guys to be aware of. Of course, memes, there's nothing wrong with memes specifically. Just know that there are some situations where it can be taken a little too far if you meme them too much and they tie that personality or that avatar in this case too closely to themselves and their internet personality itself, or just may not be in the mental state to withstand such attacks from the internet. So what I'm asking is just don't be an a-hole and just be as kind as you can be without, of course, restricting yourself too much. Now, Mikeneko made a twitcast specifically regarding this whole situation, regarding the situation of unauthorized reproduction of memes. It was done yesterday, Japan time. It was done about, I would say 6 or 7 hours before the first post of the message of her going to the hospital. This basically shows that yes, for her, it feels like slander. It feels like unauthorized reproduction. It feels like they are tarnishing her name and tarnishing her image and tarnishing her personally. She did go, just to be open, she did go and actually make a lawsuit a bit back, and that lawsuit was thrown out because I didn't follow the letter of the law in Japan, depending on slander and defamation. So this just gives you an idea of how seriously she takes it and how serious of a hit it is to her psyche and it is to her personally. So that's just giving you a bit of background on this whole situation. Of course, we have Mikeneko, who had the whole mafumafu situation, has had slander against her in that situation. I'm not prescribing guilt. I'm not prescribing innocence. I'm just mentioning what is out there. And here's a continuation of the messages that were sent. This was actually sent before the big message about her being hospitalized. It says, some people say that people who say they want to blank won't blank, but it's easy for people to commit blank if they don't talk to the dead. People who criticize someone on the internet should realize that they are complicit in it. I don't know what the good part is, but it probably meant okay. Probably meant something like that. This is a machine translation by Google, so it isn't 100% accurate. It could mean okay, something like that. That's what it could mean. You heard this, okay? That type of thing. Now we have the responses. One from Dark Enjoyer, who did a bit of a TLDR on the whole situation. I appreciate Dark Enjoyer. Shout out to Dark Enjoyer. Stream live 6 hours before it happened. A blank attempt. Discharged from the hospital. Friend asked if she could tweet this, and she gave permission. Tweeted. And then the tweet was edited out to cut off the part that shows that she's been released. And that is this part right here, where later on, this was about maybe a half hour, 40 minutes after the original tweet, there was a tweet saying that basically everything that was mentioned before on the previous tweet, except for the fact that she has been released. So that's why people are saying she's not a faithful narrator. They're saying that she is trying to hide something. She's trying to do this as a publicity stunt or whatever for Mikeneko. Not necessarily that she was complicit in it, but Mikeneko was complicit in it. But the fact that there are some shady things. Or at least it seems like to the people that there are some shady things going on. And then we have Going down here, where this person mentions, I do wonder if it's these memes that pushed her to the edge. I really hope not, but dang, these blew up. These types of memes did blow up. These are the type of memes that do end up getting people hurt. And I will at least show them to give you an idea of how bad it can get. This first one is Cheepy Cheepy Chapa Chapa, volume warning, volume warning, volume warning. Just be careful, earphone listeners, volume warning. This is really mean. On the West, maybe it could be seen as something less problematic, but for someone like Mikeneko, this is extreme. For someone like Mikeneko, this could be seen as something very extreme. For us, we could laugh at it. We could find it as funny. We could find it as interesting or whatever we want. And like I said, these things can seem funny, but to her, it was something very serious. To her, it was besmirching her character, and it was defamation, and it may have led to a mental break. Like I said, again, I'm just going to have to repeat this. These were the things that were found out to be extremely popular and had a lot of views. 6.1 million views to this specific tweet itself that has all of these things in it. And that, seeing it get that popular, seeing people laugh at you in that way, can bring, like I said, some people into a very dark part of their lives. And people are like, oh, it's meme culture, it's Twitter, it's this, it's that. Just realize that sometimes these things can hurt. They continue on with, I've translated her last Twitcasting stream. It seems like she was ranting about the fact that her manager got emails about someone using her image without permission, the fact she struggled with depression, and asked her fans to stop spreading that type of stuff. It's Japan, but would they really release someone who tried to unalive in such a short time? They can. Sometimes it's just a couple of hours, as long as they say, yeah, I'm doing better, and the friend is like, yeah, I'm going to take care of them. Sometimes they can. I mean, even in the US, sometimes it happens. I've dealt with that situation myself with a family member, and yeah, sometimes they just hold you in there for a couple of hours and then make sure that you're safe, and then they let you go. Hospitals are heavily like in and out a lot of times, especially emergency rooms can be in and out a lot of times, and they can be also overworked a lot of times. So their mistakes can be made. If she was released too early, I believe that was a mistake, but mistakes can be made. Down here it continues, she's alive considering she gave perms to share this info. I hope she improves herself and quits streaming for a while. Her last stream was about illegal memes. She can't fight the trolls forever. The only thing she can do is improve and remove her Menhera attitude. Indeed, she tried metagaming using the hate to push her content further, basically trying to monetize the hate or whatever you want to call it. But there's only so much negativity someone's mentality can take, especially with one track record of such as Mikeneko. And what he meant is that she tried making content off of her haters, basically meta content. Now here are some responses where it's basically Mikeneko tried to unalive herself. I really hope that she's going to be all right. The person down there says, I do too. Also, look at the retweets. They're all saying it's okay because all the trouble she brought to herself. But this time, in my opinion, it's like attempted blank if they keep shoving that in her face. It's like they're trying to be meme lords and they're trying to actually push her to finish the attempt. That's what it feels like to me. And I don't like that. I don't like any kind of bullying of any sort. And this is starting to feel a lot like bullying in the way that people are saying things. Some people are nice. Like I said, I wonder why they edited the fact that she was discharged from the hospital. I mean, it was too early for them to broadcast live 6 hours ago, and then they tried to leave the hospital. And then we have, more memes, more stuff that I'm going to mention here, which is, it's amazing to see the best example of kind attracts friends, kind attracts kind, people that are similar attract similar people. I guess Mikeneko and her friends are all like this. The reason why no matter how much time passes or how old you get, there's nothing you can do to save yourself is probably because people who have lived only as victims, refusing to accept anything other than affirmation of themselves, have become hardened by rejecting everyone outside of their own. So this is a criticism of that, saying she surrounded herself by yes people who will coddle her and baby her, and that's how come she has this personality. Other people say, if I were Mikeneko's friend, 1, I strongly recommend seeing a psychiatrist. 2, if you're going to get sick, quit the internet. 3, it's better to know common sense of general society than the internet society. I'm confident that I will definitely say these 3 points. So this is basically another commentary on the whole issue. Here is Sakupan. Hey, is it okay if I tweet the attempted blank? Is it okay? I will. Mikeneko to blank, but still has a desire for approval. Okay. Sakupan, don't steal my friends. Neighborhood, how dare you ask permission from a friend who attempted blank? It's a shame that they attempted blank because of the habit of slandering you earlier. So yeah, it kind of felt weird that they were going to be asking for permission from someone who is in a crisis. She was in a crisis. This was a crisis situation. Situation that should have been handled a lot more carefully. And yes, asking that of a friend who is in that type of situation, I think is a little too much. I think people who will support Mikeneko should be angry with all their might. Even if you read it carefully and think about it, it's not something a friend would do. Now they're criticizing the friend a bit more than Mikeneko themselves, which makes sense. If you write it that way, it means that Mikeneko asked her to spread the word because she attempted blank. But is that okay? I don't think she asked specifically. I think it was like, yeah, whatever, it's fine. Kind of, in the depressive state, she could have just been like, whatever, do whatever you want, type of thing. Not necessarily pushing people to do anything, but being like, yeah, if that's what you decide to do, go ahead. I'm not going to really knock you. This says, even if you don't like Mikeneko, don't slander them. Why can't you do this? Why are you acting like justice? I'll say it over and over again, but what you guys are doing is not revenge. People who have nothing to do with you are unilaterally pushing a person. Just come out. The slander against Mikeneko did not start recently. It's been going on for 2+ years. So yeah, it's been going on for a while. It didn't start recently. It started getting worse recently. But from what I understand this person is doing is just don't push harder. Don't keep pushing to get someone past their edge. Don't do this. Please, when someone is in that type of mental state, just don't knock them. And I understand that a lot of people are like, Rushia is a menhera, Rushia is this, Rushia is that. I understand that. She's made a lot of mistakes in her life, and so have I. A lot of people have. But this is an emergency situation for her. It doesn't help at all. And it doesn't matter, it might be falling on deaf ears, but it doesn't help at all if someone is being mistreated online after the situation happened. Of course, like I said, it'll probably fall on deaf ears. People are going to continue what they're doing. Twitter will continue doing what it's doing because that's what it does best. This person also does the same thing, is basically edited to delete the same thing that the Dark Enjoyer put out, and style that adds fuel to the fire. Basically, the message that was put out there, it's adding fuel to the fire. It's not good, is what this person is saying. It's just not good overall. And that's what I have to say about this. It's just, don't dogpile on somebody. It may feel cool to be part of that group. It may feel fine to be part of that group, but don't dogpile somebody like that. Let them at least have a break off. And if you know that they're the type of person that takes it way too seriously, trolls will be trolls, and trolls will attack more when you show weakness in any way. And I understand that. But dear goodness gracious, that's why people think Twitter is a toxic cesspool, because things like this happen. Someone attempts, and then people just dogpile on them. And I'm not talking about the people responding right now. I'm talking about the people doing memes. I'm talking about the people who are mentioning negative things on this whole situation. Now, I don't blame Rushia 100%, but also I don't see her as an innocent force in this whole thing because of the fact that she has done some things in the past that, of course, everyone makes mistakes. Just because she has made a mistake does not mean that she is someone who is deserving of all of this hate, deserving of all of this mistreatment, deserving of all of this type of attitude that people are putting out there. I don't want you to think that, but she has accepted that she has slandered in the past. She has accepted that there are things that she has done that may not have been the best. So she is a flawed human, just like each and every one of us, but she does deserve kindness in the moments in her kindness in her lowest moments, kindness in her darkest times, to at least help her come back to normal, and then, you can meme on her after that if you want. That is just my take, of course. Don't take away my friend. This is a heartfelt plea from a friend of Mikeneko named Marisaku Panda today. It was put on Twitter to inform the fans and everyone who knows Mikeneko or knows her that knows Mikeneko that there was a situation that happened today, and the situation is a bit of a sensitive one. So I am giving you guys the warnings right now. It will be a bit of a sensitive topic. I will try to censor out some parts that are more sensitive in order to make it easier to digest for most people. I hope you understand.